I was afraid of.
Okay, Mayor, we are recording and live streaming and ready to rock and roll.
Good evening, everyone. It is 7:01 p.m. on Tuesday, May 13th, 2025. And I now call to order the 2160th regular city council meeting of the city of College Place. Mary Elizabeth, will you please take roll call?
Yes, ma'am. Councilmember Jessup,
Present.
Councilmember Cleveland,
Present.
Councilmember Espinoza, Councilmember Peterson,
Present.
Councilmember Williams,
Present.
Councilmember Sherman, present, and Councilmember Boyle is excused. We do have a quorum.
Wonderful, thank you. Will you all please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? Right, thank you. It's now time for public comment. Mary Elizabeth, did anyone submit a written comment in advance or request to speak via telephone or virtually?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so if anyone in council chambers would like to speak during public comment regarding an item that is not on today's agenda, please raise your hand. All right, seeing none, we're going to move on to our consent agenda, which consists of the agenda for tonight, May 13th, 2025, approving the council minutes from April 22nd, 2025, approving the council workshop minutes from May 6th, 2025, approving fund consolidation and renaming Fund 413, approving the purchase of a Ram 1500 for the Public Works Department, approving the December 2024 financials, and excusing the absence of Councilmember Boyle. Is there any item any member of the council would like removed from the consent agenda at this time?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you. We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second, Jessup.
We have a first and a second to approve the consent agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it and the motion is passed. We have two presentations on the agenda tonight. First, I have the pleasure of delivering the National Public Works Week's proclamation to our Public Works Director, Mr. McAndrews. I will read our proclamation.
Specifically.
It's going to be to you. Whereas public work service provided in our community are an integral part of our residents' everyday lives, and whereas the support of an understanding and informed community is vital to the efficient operation of public work systems and programs such as water, sewers, streets, and capital improvement projects. And whereas the health, safety, and comfort of this community greatly depend on these facilities and services, and whereas the quality and effectiveness of these facilities are vitally dependent upon the efforts and skill of public works officials. And now, therefore, I, Norma L. Hernandez, Mayor of the City of College Place, do hereby proclaim May 18th to May 24th, 2025 as National Public Works Week in the City of College Place, and call upon all our residents to recognize public works officials contributing to our health, safety, and comfort every day. David, this 13th day of May 2025. Now, you gotta speech. I have an official proclamation. You didn't hang in your office. Now.
Thank you.
Now, let's see, where am I at? Okay. Oh, Mr. Carlton's going to, it's going to review the Lions Park project. And according to this, you're going to put some fun in funding.
Thank you, Mayor.
As we were finalizing our financial numbers for December 2024, it came to our attention that the REIT fund, which is tracking our Lions Park project, was in a negative balance. According to the RCWs with the state, we cannot leave a fund with a negative balance. Upon investigating the reasons for the negative balance, we had approximately $1.6 million of grants that had not been received by the end of the year. There was a large majority of invoices came in. I think there was 3 different invoices came in for Nelson Construction on Lions Park. So by the time we got those in and paid, they got actually paid in January. There wasn't time to submit any grant reimbursements. As it stood, there was approximately $5.5 million in total grants receivable at the end of the year. We had submitted grants at the beginning of December, but none of those grants were reimbursed by the end of the year. So if you're looking at the financials in general, you'll notice there's quite a bit of drawdown on quite a few of the funds, especially in the utilities. There was, like I said, $5.5 million in grants receivable at the end of the year. So in order to fix this, there will be another couple sections later on that discusses is to do an interfund loan. And that's what we'll talk about later. And we'll bring up we do not currently have an interfund loan policy. So we need to look at creating one of those. And secondly is to create a loan for the Lions Park project and REIT 2 out of the TIF funds. So that's where it stands at this moment.
Those grants reimbursable since those didn't show up on books until January. The cutoff for 2024 is December 31st. So fact of the matter is we have to true up things on the paper because that annual report is due in a couple weeks. That's what's in front of you.
Okay, we're gonna go through council members just for, in case they have any questions. If a question will be answered at a later time in your presentation, just go ahead and let us know.
Okay.
Okay. Councilmember Jessup, questions or comments?
No, it just sounds like unfortunate timing, but thank you for being creative and appropriate with the funds. Thank you.
Councilmember Cleveland,
No questions.
Councilmember Espinosa,
So just to see if I'm clear, we're about down 1.5 million on that project for the park. And that's a result of the invoices that didn't come our way and were paid on time that were supposed to be paid from the grants. And so we, like the window closed, the opportunity to cash those out or to get those paid from the time that they were finally submitted to us.
Yeah, those expenditures had to be incurred in the year. So we had to recognize them because they were dated for the year. But then there wasn't time to do grant reimbursements, even to get them submitted to be paid. So there's actually $1.6 million in grants receivable at the end of the year that had we been able to submit them, we would have been able to receive that revenue, and then you wouldn't have the negative fund balance.
And is that partly due to the contractor, Nelson Construction, to their delay in performing the work, or what's the root cause of that situation?
Not something we really delved into, but we did receive a number of those. I think the last 3 pay estimates were paid in December. So, that were incurred for the end of the year. And I think some of those actually went in because we get the first 20 days of the new year in order to record transactions for the prior year. And it was that window we received a number of invoices in.
Okay, so I see here that Nelson was liable for about $440,000 of invoicing. So does that mean that are they reimbursing the city that amount of money? Are they liable for those funds?
No, it's costs we've incurred on the project, but we hadn't been able to submit them for reimbursement yet.
Because it was submitted after.
Well, yeah, it's a timing thing.
But they were submitted for reimbursement in 2025.
And we're getting reimbursed for that. We're not out that money coming.
No, we received those funds. Well, some of them we haven't, there's about $500,000 that I'm in debate with RCO on, but so about $1 million of that we received in the first 3 months of the year. Actually, I think it's first 4 months.
Got it.
So it's a timing issue. And because we're cash basis, we can't accrue that amount and put it on the balance sheet. We have to recognize it in the fund balance because it's expenditures and revenue, and we didn't receive the revenue yet. So,
Yeah, that's
puts
the
us in that
problem with cash
situation.
basis accounting. Mike, you have something you want to add?
Well, and I would just also mention when you reimburse on these grants, it isn't like, hey, we have a grant, go give me the money and so forth. So with state recreation and conservation officers, a lot of reporting you have to do, and it requires them to read it. And unfortunately, around month December, it appeared that half them were on vacation or not existing. Furthermore, one of the grants, the Land Water Conservation Fund, that's a pass-through federal funding source, and they get very, very nitpicky and granular on the data where you have to go back and forth with them. So there is a time requirement there. So I just want to frame that up to say you have a couple issues here. The fact of the matter, in this state, the fiscal year is January 1st, December 31st. You can invoice out, but if that cash does not hit, you then have a problem. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. And the fact that, you submit this stuff, there still is a back and forth with the grants managers, and that has to be accounted for. And in a project of this size and scope with the funding sources, that's very normal. And that's one of the evils of cash basis accounting, which is why every other state does accrual. But I'll get off my soapbox on that.
Thank you.
Councilmember Peterson,
No questions, thank you.
Councilmember Williams,
No questions, thank you.
Councilmember Sherman.
No questions. We went over this in our
Oh,
finance
yes,
meeting
yes, we had
last
a
week
finance
too.
committee, yeah.
At length. So we asked a lot of questions at that time, so no
Yes.
questions.
We did. Thanks for bringing that up. All right, there's no other questions. We're going to move on. There's no public hearings tonight. We have 8 action items though. And the first one on the agenda is Mr. McAndrews will give us an update on Southeast 8th Street sidewalk design.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. We've talked about this project, or I should say these projects, a few times. The city is working with JEB engineers on design to add sidewalks all the way from College Avenue to Larch on the south side of the road. Due to funding that's kind of separated initially into 2 projects, one funded has federal dollars in place from Birch to College, and the rest of it's funded through TIB. But as you get to the east end of that corridor, if you've ever driven it, you notice it narrows down significantly, and that's on both sides of the road. So as we're working on design through conversations with JEB, we recognize that it's going to be important as we improve that corridor to also widen the road. We have the right of way, but we don't have design for it. And so this is adding what essentially is a third piece of this project to widen the road from Elm, I believe, to Larch. And so this is essentially authorizing JEB to complete the design so that we can find funding to construct it and to widen that road when the time comes. So I guess I'll leave it there. Any questions?
Okay, let's go to council members for questions or comments. Councilmember Jessup.
No, but a comment, always appreciative and thankful, as we've talked in the past, of doing it correctly the first time. So thank you.
Councilmember Cleveland.
No questions, but I'll echo Paul. I'm always appreciative of doing things right and improving our city's walkability.
Councilmember Espinosa.
No questions, thank you.
Councilmember Peterson.
No questions. Thank you.
Councilmember Williams.
So it says it's not likely to be at the same time. The road won't be at the same time as the sidewalks. So will the sidewalks go ahead and go in and there'll just be a gap and then later we'll go in and put in the road? Is that the plan?
Yes, unfortunately. So the goal will be to construct it at the same time, but because of the funding and the requirements, we had, so WashDOT administers the federal piece of that. And we went to them for approval to tie the two projects together and it was declined. So we're gonna have to bid the two pieces of it separately already. But the goal is to try to align those where all of that work kind of happens more or less at once. And ultimately our goal is to be able to do the widening piece at the same time. But as of now, we don't have all the funding aligned yet. And so we don't know quite yet, but we wanted to make sure we at least had it designed
Yeah,
and ready to go when we can get the funding in place. So.
I absolutely agree with that. I just wanted to be clear on that. Thank
Yep,
you.
Yep.
Councilmember Sherman.
No questions.
Okay. If there's no additional discussion or questions, do we have a motion to authorize?
I'll motion to authorize Public Works Director or designee to sign contract amendment number 2 with JUB Engineers, increasing the Southeast 8th Street sidewalk, Southeast Birch Avenue to Southeast Larch, design cost by $41,500.
Thank you, Councilmember Cleveland. Is there a second?
Councilmember, oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
You're first. Go ahead. Councilmember Williams, second.
Councilmember Williams did a second. So we have a first and a second. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it and the motion is passed. Thank you, Ms. Rick Andrews. Next, Mr. Rickard's going to present the first draft of the 2025 Parks, Open Space and Recreation Plan for adoption.
Thank you, Mayor. If you recall, we went over this at the May 6th council workshop in greater detail. But just briefly, we've been working on this for a little over a year with the PAR board and the Parks Arbor and Recreation Commission. We met with them 4 times throughout last year and this year. We conducted a survey, did community outreach. The survey was in Spanish and English. We got over 150 respondents, which is a good return on a survey for a city our size. We held a pop-up event at the farmers market, got in contact with a lot of the public there. The current plan dates back to October 9th, 2018. I was 43 back then, so I've aged a lot since that time, but it's time to update it. So, it's adopting this plan will ensure that we have continual ability to apply for state and federal grants for park and recreation projects. It supports the long-term sustainability and stewardship of our city parks and reflects the community's vision and values related to parks and recreation. So I guess the last thing I would point out is that the Parks, Arbor and Recreation Commission on April 25th voted unanimously. Oh my God, I cannot say that word.
All the same.
They were all the same. They were all in agreement on adopting this plan and encourage you to approve it. Thank you. Any questions? I'd be happy
All
to
right,
answer.
Councilmember Jessup,
No, thank you.
Councilmember Cleveland,
No questions.
Councilmember Espinosa.
Well, I think this is great and it'll be a plan for the community to follow and to hopefully bring those parks that we need to our community for generations to come. So very grateful for the work done here.
Councilmember Peterson,
No questions, thank you.
Councilmember Williams,
No questions. Congratulations.
and Councilmember Sherman.
No questions.
All right, if there's no additional discussion, do we have a motion for this resolution?
Councilmember Williams, I will move to adopt resolution 25-032, which acknowledges the April 2025 Parks, Open Space and Recreation Plan as an official guiding document for the city of College Place.
I'll second.
Thank you. We have a first and a second. Just Councilmember Sherman second. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? The ayes have it and the motion is passed.
Thank you. I'd just like to say thank you for the support, and our last plan got us a long way. I mean, we've done a lot in our parks, and this new plan that you just approved is going to take us another 10, 12 years down the road there's a lot of great vision and concepts in it, and I'm excited about it. So
And you're gonna be here to see it to the end, right?
unanimously, I said it. There we go.
So you're gonna be here to see it to the end?
I have at least 16 years in me before I am eligible for retirement, so yes.
You heard it.
I'll probably have another one to bring to you in between now.
In between that, thank you. Thank you for putting this together and working on this. All right, our third item is Garcia is gonna present on the migration from board docs to diligent community.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. I presented this at our council workshop. Diligent Company. I thought originally they had bought out Diligent or Board Docs, but it turns out that they had actually designed it in the first place. And it's come full circle now, and Board Docs was their first software, and now they have made Diligent Community to replace that. And if we would like to stay with this company, we need to go to Diligent Community. And the migration will start soon. And also there was a question on whether or not the price included implementation, and it does.
All right, thank you. All right, Councilmember Jessup, questions or comments?
No, thank you.
Councilmember Cleveland,
No questions?
Councilmember Espinosa, Councilmember Peterson,
No question, thank you for the follow-up clarifications too, appreciate that.
Councilmember Williams,
No more questions. Thank you.
Councilmember Sherman.
No questions.
All right, so if there's no additional discussion, do we have a motion on this resolution?
I'll motion to adopt resolution number 25-033, which authorizes the city administrator to sign the contract with Diligent to replace the board doc software with Diligent Community.
Thank you.
Second,
Thank you.
go ahead.
Good.
Second, Peterson?
Councilmember Peterson, second. No, please you. All right, any additional discussion? All right, hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the ayes have it and the motion is passed. All right, next, our fourth item. Did we have an item removed from the agenda earlier? I thought this was our fifth, but I'm just wondering.
Nope.
Okay, is Ms. Garcia again, it's going to ask the city council to adopt the sister city relationship between the city of College Place and Jungapeo, Mexico.
Okay, this very exciting time for us. We presented on this also at the last workshop, and I would just implore you guys to please grant our wishes. And we even have an audience here, it looks like, so.
Not just an audience, we have some speakers who had
There's
asked
speakers.
to just wanna share some things with the city, with the council as we consider whether or not to approve this relationship, and thoughts for us to think as we ponder it. All right, so I believe we have a few, so I'm going to call Mr. Javier Hernandez up to come speak at the podium to share a little bit of your thoughts of Jungapeo. And make sure you press the green button. Thank you.
Hi. I wasn't prepared for talking here, but anyways, I'll try my best. I'm Javier Hernandez, living here in College Place for many, many years, 35 years or something. I used to work at Walla Walla High School for years, and now I'm working in my own. I'm retired, but still working harder, I think. Now my son, one of my sons is here. He's a teacher in Milton Free Water. Have another son is a principal at Green Park. And I have another daughter, teacher at Vegas. You know, I don't know, she doesn't like play games, but she's working down there. And so we were talking with Mrs. Hernandez, and our mayor, talking about the idea, since we are many people from our town living here in College Place, Walla Walla, Milton Free Waters, Labor Camp, and it will be nice to have a sister city and give the opportunity to our students from here, from down there, teachers and the community, to exchange things. You know, we have the Monarca butterflies in our town. It's a beautiful town. I hope that we can see a video from our town and see, you know, what's going on. You know, I've been in the University of Walla Walla, looking some students taking Spanish at that level, and they are learning just a little bit when they're supposed to go earlier, you know, and learn the language. Now, United States of America has the fifth. After Mexico, we have the most speaking Spanish population. And in Mexico, we have more than 2 million Americans living down there. So, and I think that we were talking about it, and I say, let's put this idea on the table and you will decide. You know, I think the people from down there, I just went 2 months ago to Mexico, and the mayor from down there, she's very excited. The city council from down there, they are very happy, and everybody, you know, is happy having this idea in concrete. So I will add to you guys. So it will be nice. You can support this idea, and it will help our people from our community and people from down there. So I feel Mexican because I'm Mexican, but I feel American because I have my American passport too, and I love this country too, as you do. So we're trying to do our best to help our communities. And if you have questions, I'm here.
We did watch the video.
Okay.
So
Okay.
they watched the video on their own, and then we did watch La Presidenta's
Norma,
introduction.
we have two presidentas, Norma and Norma.
So we did watch her introduction and her invitation. So we
Okay,
did able to watch that. Did anybody have any questions for Mr. Hernandez? No. All right.
great. Thank you very much.
For not being prepared, you said it.
Okay.
You did quite well.
All right, thanks a lot.
All right. Did any other members of the audience want to speak?
¿Alguien quiere hablar?
No, they're just here to cheer you on. All right. Just here to cheer you on. And, you know, I do want to reiterate that we do again have quite a large contingency of immigrants that have come, or the families of previous immigrants who've come from Jungapeo. We also have a number of businesses around our area that are owned by people who have immigrated from Jungapeo. So it's quite an influence in our community, which is why we felt and the Youth Advisory Commission felt it was be such a good fit. I think that you've all heard all this. So I'm going to go through council members in case you have any other questions or comments for Mary Elizabeth. Councilmember Jessup,
Not at the time. Thank you.
Councilmember Cleveland,
No questions, but this seems like a fun and exciting opportunity.
Councilmember Espinosa, Councilmember Peterson.
So Mexico's a big country. What was the attraction 35 years ago? Was it from that town to this town? Was there an original?
I asked him that once.
Okay.
And it was the migrant work. They,
Okay.
you know, one started moving moving through California all the way up, and then they ended up in Walla Walla doing agricultural work, and then, you know, family
Right,
moves, friends move, and then they start establishing their community, and that's exactly how
It's just so neat that high concentration there, so high concentration here of the sister city aspect. Yes. Thank you.
Yep, and when you have, Oh, go ahead. Was somebody gonna ask something? When you have one person or one family there and, you know, it feels safe to bring another and you're right, and that's how communities grow, right? So that was the attraction. It was by chance, but lucky for us. This is where it ended.
If we are smart, we want to live in a nice, beautiful.
There you go. Because they're smart, they want to live in a beautiful community like College Place.
Oh, can some of the other things, I'm sure you know this, Mr. Hernandez, but something that I found special is that is that Hungapeo is the like origin site of the monarch migration, and that we get that, a little bit of that here. Super special. And also there's so many Adventists there as well as here. You know, I was really surprised.
For Georges.
We have a lot in common.
Really?
Yeah, yes,
I didn't know that.
yep. It is, they do, it.
It's pretty big. It's the #1 capital of Guava. So it's pretty big in trees. There's mamey, there's avocado, there's a big amount of agriculture in Hungapeo. There was even an attraction. It was a hotel. It was a 5-star hotel. It was called San Jose Peruano. They had one of the best chefs. They had many
Oh, wow.
actresses and famous people there. Right now, it's barely starting again. It's
Right.
been,
So it needs to pick up again,
yeah,
right?
it's
With it-
starting again. It has new, not ownership, but they're trying to build it up again and make it an bigger attraction.
Very nice.
It's called thermal water. It's like hot water and there's. Hot springs.
Hot springs, okay.
Yeah.
I'm going. I'm moving.
All right, where's our tickets?
Yeah, I'm moving. Darn it.
That sounds lovely.
I'm so sorry. I forgot my question. Sorry.
Okay. Councilmember Williams?
Well, it sounds like it's our sisterly duty to go down and, you know, give some business to the hotel, but, this just seems like such a great match and I really appreciate, everybody that's worked on putting this together. So that's awesome.
And Councilmember Sherman?
I grew up just down the street, down 6th Street. I don't know if you guys remember me, with Gabriella and Hector. And this is so exciting for me to have this, additional connection. Every time I'm in Mexico, I feel like I'm at home. So I can't wait to go and visit, the town that you are from. And thank you for bringing more good people to College Place.
All right, is there any other discussion? If not, do we have a motion? Oh, Mary Elizabeth?
Last thing, I swear I'm done. But I was thinking that, you know, maybe like in February, I don't know what the weather's like over there, but I hope it's warm because we might like try to do you know, when it's cold here, a lot of people travel to Mexico and
The is it the start of the monarch butterflies? There it goes.
Oh, very cool, very cool.
We can make February work.
Okay.
If there's no other at this time, is there a motion for this resolution?
I'll make a motion to authorize resolution number 25-033, which formally adopts on behalf of College Place, Hungapeo, Michoacan, Mexico, as a sister city of the city of College Place and allows the mayor to sign any further documents ratifying the official sister city relationship.
I'll second.
Thank you. We have a first and a second. Any additional discussion? I do want to also thank Mr. Hernandez for taking the time to help us with this. He did spend a lot of time communicating with the municipality over there and with the mayor. He's the one that helped us get the video and the pictures. And if you recall in the video, you can see him in there welcoming us to his hometown. So I do want to also acknowledge the work that you put into this. So thank you. Muchas gracias por todo. All right. If there's no
I just wanted to comment that I know we had talked about it, but I hope that somehow we can put together a video in response because I just think that would be a really nice thing to do.
Sooner better than later. All right. All right, we'll get on it. All right, let's vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the ayes have it and the motion is passed. I do want to quickly read and let everybody know that just in case Mary Elizabeth already had printed out official certificates of sister cities between the city of College Place and the city of Jungapeo, Michoacan in Mexico. And we have one in English and one in Spanish, where I have signed both, and then we're going to send it over to the mayor and have her sign both. That way we can each have our own copies of them for our official sister cities. And I'm just going to quickly read the one in English for you. So, sister city agreement between the city of College Place, Washington, USA, and the city of Jungapeo, Michoacan, Mexico. In accordance with the authorization and approval expressed by the city of College Place, Washington, and the city of Jungapeo, Michoacan, Mexico, it is declared that a sister city agreement between the two cities is hereby established for the following purposes. 1, to promote and expand the effective and mutually beneficial cooperation between the people of College Place and the people of Jungapeo. And 2, to promote international goodwill, understanding, and expanded business relations between the two cities and their respective nations by the exchange of people, ideas, and information in a wide variety of economic, social, cultural, municipal, environmental, professional, technical, youth, and other endeavors. And 3, to foster and encourage charitable, scientific, trade and commerce, literacy, and educational activities between the two cities. This sister city agreement shall be officially established and shall become effective when this document has been duly executed by the mayor of the city of College Place, Washington, USA, and la presidenta municipal de Jungapeo in Michoacan, Mexico. Thank you. And we'll make sure to get this one mailed to la presidenta. You want to get some pictures with them? Will you guys join us in some pictures?
That'd be great.
Let me go over there to make it easier. A beautiful moment, you guys.
It really is.
I think it would also be good to get the city council right in the background.
I'd love, yeah.
So that we could all.
Should we come around? Yeah.
Please.
Not too many chairs here.
Oh, that was like you just again.
I was gonna say, you're gonna need to probably.
Next slide.
Okay, on first, can you get on 3, say. Somebody, 1, 2, 3. Yay. Yes.
All right. You.
Have it just.
That should be done. Yeah.
Okay,
There you go.
it's just an honor and a privilege for having us here. I mean, this is history. It truly is, you know, coming from a family of immigrants, you know, facing challenges in a foreign country. My dad just said that he's Mexican. You know, I identify myself of a Mexican American, you know, being biliterate, bilingual, and bicultural is a challenge. And I think that should be the goal, you know, for future generations to acquire those skills. And it's going to be a great opportunity to partner with Jungapeo, which I was born. You know, I was born in Jungapeo, but I did not choose to come to this great nation. You know, my parents are the ones who decided, you know, to bring me to this great nation, and I grew up here. So once again, you know, I'm Mexican American, and I think that's one of those things that I want to teach, you know, to our future generations, to our kids, you know, to feel proud where they come from, to never forget where their roots, their culture, and at the same time, they need to feel proud that they're American as well. So this is, you know, this is a start of a great project in a more formal setting. So thank you, and this is, you know, the start of a new project. So thank you once again. It's an honor.
Thank you.
Well said.
Well, that was very touching. Thank you. And I got goosebumps.
Yeah.
I think this is such a special moment. So thank you. I think it'll go beyond us, right? And for the future generations, and it'll be interesting to see how relationships can grow. So thank you all very much. All right. Well, now, Mike, you got the bad luck of having to follow up on that. And you're going to present on the fire station energy savings project. Yay!
Yay. So,
I'm pretty excited.
yeah. So I went over this last council workshop, but since the Climate Commitment Act was upheld, we did have a state legislative earmark from the 16th legislative district legislators. So thank you to Representative Clicker, Rude, and then Senator Dozier for spearheading this. But we do have an earmark for a little over $1.1 million to change out some of the electrical HVAC equipment in the fire station. Very important because when it was built in around the 2000 vintage, one builder did not build that structure. It was Frankenstein together with about 3 different builders. So not everything works together and it's at the end of its life. So not the building, but the system. So this will add more years for it, which is really important since it's a dorm for a lot of our volunteer firefighters. The work will not begin in earnest until fall. I am seeking passage of this tonight, though, so we can essentially solidify the pricing for the equipment. So that way McKinstry can order it and we don't have wild cost escalations, but we can't be poking around with HVAC equipment and stuff when it's like 100 and 510 out during the summer. So you'll see it occur as we get into the fall months.
All right. Let's go through council members for question. Councilmember Jessup,
No, thank you so much for working on this for them.
Councilmember Cleveland,
No questions, but thank you for the forward thinking and all the work that went into this.
Councilmember Espinosa,
No questions, thank you.
Councilmember Peterson,
No questions, thank you.
Councilmember Williams,
No questions.
none?
Well, I kind of have
You
a
were so
question, but I didn't
excited.
think I should ask it.
Ask
Well,
it.
I'm very excited about it. Because that place has got to be miserable as a dorm in the summer. But my question is, we've had several contracts with McKinstry where they guaranteed energy savings. Is that one of these, or is this just, no, this stuff's all falling apart and you have to replace it?
No, this is one of those guaranteed energy savings ones.
Okay, now I'm double excited.
Yeah.
A little bit of engineering nerd, right? Just.
You'd be surprised how many engineering students have lived in that dorm.
Oh, I could, okay, now I can get it. All right, Ms. Sherman, Councilmember Sherman.
No.
Sorry, but, all right. Is there any other discussion? If not, do we have a motion for this resolution? Councilmember Williams.
I would like to move to adopt resolution number 25-035, awarding the fire station energy efficiency project contract to McKinstry and authorizing city administrator to execute the contract.
Second, Councilmember Cleveland.
Perfect. We have a first and a second. Any additional discussion? All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the ayes have it and the motion is passed. Thank you, Mike. All right, just let's see, I'm trying to see. So I'm just trying to see real quick. We're talking about the policy. Okay, so Mr. Carlton's going to circle back around the interfund. 5.06. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, Mr. Rizzatello is gonna talk about the planning study for her I hear it's beautiful. Final Martin Airfield planning study.
Okay, thank you. This was very important, mainly because when it changed ownership geez, that is 6 years ago already. Well, yeah, I know. Back then, originally when we were gonna pull it out of the UGA, we really didn't have a good game plan as far as like infrastructure and stuff because we didn't think it was gonna be part of community. After it changed ownership, they wanted to be inside College Place. We then had a little bit of predicament because we didn't really do any sort of planning out that way, never thought we had to. So over last year, we did the study. The majority of it was paid for by a state community economic revitalization board grant. The consultants, JUB, met monthly, not only with the landowner, which is a subsidiary of Tarragon, but then also with our Economic Development, Tourism, and Events Commission. Miss Allen in the audience, she's on that as a board member. So basically earlier this month, it was voted out of Economic Development Commission as a recommendation. This was introduced at the City Council workshop, and it just really sets a vision for the Martin Airfield area. So south of Dones Creek, we all know that's residential, but north of it along the runway, it showed that there is opportunity for some planning for some light industrial along Whitman Drive, also south of the runway off of Hampton Lane to the west. And then we also augmented the study area to include this triangular piece of property that isn't in the UGA currently, but has really good opportunity because it's along a light rail line, which is a major bonus. And the landowner actually is interested and supports potential inclusion in the UGA because that would not be too hard to go run a spur off of that rail line and then you have some light industrial going on. Keep in mind this is a key importance in the community because right now we only have one light industrial building in the whole community, which is fully leased out and subscribed. So there is a need, but there aren't like any buildings at the moment. So this is really good to have as like an appendices into the upcoming comprehensive plan and then guide our discussions with Tarragon moving forward.
All right, Councilmember Jessup. I'm sure you understood all these schematics in this planning.
I'm really excited in the fact that I've really loved that this is on the books and public in conversations for light industrial because we're talking about housing, but what a wonderful opportunity and what a perfect place for industry, light industry, agricultural, residential, for businesses and jobs and so on and so forth, what that means. So this is wonderful. Thanks for working hard on this, everyone.
Councilmember Cleveland.
No questions. Looks great. A lot of potential, a lot of opportunity. Thank you.
Councilmember Espinosa.
Just a comment. I think that as we look into the future of our community and how we want to bring jobs to the community, we want to bring employers to the community. This is a perfect example of attracting those future light industrial employers to bring jobs, and that will help with housing and many other future initiatives that we have. So I'm excited to see this come to light.
Councilmember Peterson.
No questions. Thank you.
Councilmember Williams.
No questions. Thank you.
And Councilmember Sherman.
No questions. Thanks, Mike.
Mike, I'm just trying to, some of these pictures are quite elaborate and in the planning guide. What are we seeing in the other one, the one that had all those little circles, the numbers? What are we seeing there? What's it telling us? I think it's, yes.
Oh, that one just is listing out current structures or things out on the site because there are a variety of hangars. There is a runway, and then when Whitman Drive was fixed by the county before it was in like the UGA in the city, had an incorporated area, they did extend the runway a little bit as mitigation for the county obtaining some land for that multi-use path that runs along it because the right of way didn't used to be that wide.
I got you. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right, so if there's no other discussion, do we have a motion on this resolution?
Sure, I'd like to move to authorize resolution 25-036, which adopts the Martin Airfield Planning Study to the comprehensive plan as an appendix.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Councilmember Espinosa, second? Okay. Any additional discussion? All right, hearing none, let's vote. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? All right, the ayes have it and the motion is passed. All right, next, now we're going to the interfund loan policy relating to Lions Park project funding.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. This is a continuation of the REIT 2 fund deficit and adjusting it for the end of the year. In order to make this happen, we need to have an interfund loan policy approved by council. This policy states the rules that we have to follow according to state RCW and the auditor's office about the requirements. I do focus in on the area that at the bottom of page 1, where the city council must approve a resolution for all interfund loans. So if this was to occur in the future, we have a policy in place, and they do have to come to council for approval. And again, we do a lot of transactions interfund, but they can only transfer interfund if it's within like the utilities, you know, between the operating fund, the debt fund, and the capital fund. We can transfer within that fund without having an interfund loan. We also are able to transfer for some of the current expense into areas like the streets fund, because that's an allowable transfer without doing a loan. We could also transfer from current expense into REIT, but as I stated previously, there isn't enough liquidity in current expense to fund the 1.5 million without putting us out of compliance on our reserve requirements. So this establishes the rules about how we have to set up an interfund loan, and barring any other questions,
I'll say very standard. Many communities have this in our policy. We did not. I think that speaks to the fiscal prudence we've always set out over the years here in College Place. And it's kudos to council and staff. As I alluded to earlier on, when you have a whole portfolio of grants and a cash basis system, this is the evils of that at times. So.
All right, Councilmember Jessup, questions, comments?
I have two quick questions, if I may, for understanding. One, is this the type of loan that has interests of one way or the other?
yes, interest will be paid from the REIT fund to the TIF fund. That's a requirement of the RCW.
Yes.
And it has to be a competitive rate. And we can talk about that rate when we get into the actual loan document.
Okay. Would this also policy be one of those like forevermore unless otherwise taken off by a future council? Or is this there's a limit, or it's just forevermore until?
No, this goes into the financial policy manual as a set policy.
Okay.
Councilmember Cleveland?
No questions.
Councilmember Espinosa?
I'm a little weary about this, and I understand the cash basis that we're under. When we started the project, we were really proud of the fact that we went after a lot of grants, and we were able to procure those grants to pay for the park, which was a really great thing for our community. And whenever we take a loan, it's an actual burden for the community. So I'm just weary of being wise stewards with the management of funds. So it's just a comment that I'd like to make and I understand that we got to do this because we drew down the fund, but just something that I'd like to make a comment on it.
I do just want to clarify that this is just for approving a policy, not for the actual action yet. It's just to put the policy on the books should we approve the action, which is going to be coming up next.
After this?
Yes.
Correct.
And so in that time, we'll get more details.
Yeah, because if we don't have the policy, we can't do that.
Yeah, so we have to do this first before we could talk about the next one. Councilmember Peterson.
A couple things. Brian, thank you for, your communication here on the fact that any future use of this fund would go in front of the council. So this is not just a tool that's handed over, I feel, there's comfort in that, of course. And, what's the lifespan on this potentially? I guess my second question, we're talking about this little weird timing thing that's going on. So this could literally, we could put in this intercompany loan and it could be satisfied within 6 months, a year, as we receive. You don't know, but.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
We're not sure how the grants are gonna come in and how it's actually gonna cash flow out. So,
It's short term. Relatively.
Yeah, and again, we'll get to more of those details in the next discussion, but Mike, you want to say something?
Well, and I just want to mention too, when you're dealing with the various grants, especially when you're closing out a project of this scope, you're dealing with essentially a 10 to 20% retainage on the grants as a project close out for like final payment and so forth. That's why it's important when you're doing a temporary interfund loan to just take all that into account. And the other thing I want to mention just about the REIT 2 thing, when that was created back in 17, that was specifically for parks where we were racking and stacking the money for the parks. And now Lions Park is done. Next one's going to be veterans, but we have a ways to go with the grants on that one, and we won't be getting into that until this is paid off. So this isn't affecting other governmental services or anything. That was a bucket specifically for parks.
And these don't go on indefinitely, in the terms, it is 3 years.
the
Really is
max,
what you
the
want to
max
say.
allowable is
So
3
even,
years.
even if we weren't gonna pay it off next month, we don't wanna go longer than 3. Yeah, that we don't wanna go.
It's a 3-year.
This was from the finance committee.
Max, max 3 years.
Yeah.
Thank you.
With no early payment.
We take comfort in that also.
Yes,
Right.
yeah, so it's not signing a 20-year loan that we're always gonna
Right,
be
exactly.
taking from it. No, it's
Exactly.
short term.
It's a cash time
Yes.
difference. And
Yes.
when these other people get their.
Yeah.
Right.
Councilmember Williams.
No questions on this part.
Councilmember Sherman.
No question.
All right, any other questions or comments regarding this part? All right, hearing none, is there a motion for this resolution on the loan policy?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 25-037, establishing an interfund loan policy and procedure.
Second, Peterson.
Thank you. We have a first and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the ayes have it and the motion is passed. All right, so now we're gonna move on to the big discussion about this. And I just wanna, let our guests know that this might be a long discussion. You're welcome to stay, but you're not obligated to. I don't want you. All right.
Thank you.
I don't want you to feel like you have to stay. Thank you. And
Arlene's like, I'm gonna go.
I know, she's like, am I a guest? And the second thing is, when we have for questions, we're gonna start with Councilmember Sherman, since you know a little bit more about this anyways. All right, so the final action item is the interfund loan to the REIT 2 fund.
Thank you, Mayor. So this is establishing the loan between the TIF fund and the REIT 2 fund for the 1.5 million. During our meeting with the Finance Committee, and we discussed this item, we decided, given the maximum term for an interfund loan is 3 years, we decided to set that at that. And the rate we used, according to the policy, we used the LGIP, which is our civic investment portal through the state. We use their current rate at 4.36% non-compounding. Also stated in there is that there's a I just went with some, basic terms and said they have to pay $500,000 minimum at the end of each calendar year. And the effective date of the loan is 12/31/24, which is the date of the financials. That's it in a nutshell.
All right. Councilman Sherman.
I don't have any questions, Brian. Like you said, we went over this last week in the finance committee, and I think that we discussed this being at this point, the best course of action in order to get 2024 closed out. So I appreciate the fact now that we have terms, that there is no early payment penalty, that this will get us to where we need to go, and that there is a plan in place to make it all work as we've been doing for years. So thank you for having the knowledge of being able to do something like this to help those funds stay balanced.
Thank you. And I did want to quickly remind that, so the funds that we're using, we're not taking from any other projects, any other fund, nothing's being cut because we're doing this.
Yeah, I just want to mention, the part of TIF that's coming from is what was going to go to the east-west road and the roundabout, which was a couple of years out anyway, because you don't prepay a developer before they build it. That's a gift in a public fund. So that was being held in an account.
So it allows us to be able to use it for now to shore up while we're still waiting for those reimbursements to come in.
Yep.
All right, Councilmember Williams.
So I have two questions. It says 4.36% paid quarterly. So is the 4.36% an annual rate, or is it a quarterly rate?
And annual.
So we won't pay 4.3% every quarter. We'll pay a quarter of that every quarter.
Yes.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
I should have put APR at the end of that.
Yeah, that could be added.
I should have put APR at the end of that.
Yeah, that'd be great. And then could you you or Heather, I don't know who's talk through the reasoning on making it a full 3-year loan when we expect the entire project to be closed out well before then?
I think it was just to get wiggle rooming.
Yeah, just in case.
If that's the maximum we can go.
We don't want to have to come back to council if for some reason and ask for additional time frame or something, so.
Right, Mike.
I was gonna say, I alluded to it earlier, with all these grants, you have a 10 to 20% retainage on closeout. And like the LWCF grant, that's passed through federal. And again, you have a lot of back and forth with all the data. So rather than rehashing this with all the various grant sources, this is the path of the best way moving forward while putting basically a gigantic weight on staff with the amount of grants we have flowing up through here.
Thank you. I just wanted to basically make sure I understood that and it was on the record. Thank you.
I thought you had two questions. Oh, you did it. Your first one was the APR. That's right. Okay. Councilor Peterson, thank you.
So what if we do nothing? Are we out of compliance? What happens?
Yes.
Yes, we'd probably get a finding from the state auditors.
Probably all personally liable.
Yeah, you don't want to end a year in a negative balance because we'll end the year in the negative.
Well, and then if you have a finding that affects funding opportunities and.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just not, well, you're not allowed to, so.
Well, I mean, well.
I mean,
true, but
there's probably cities that do. But
it's like having money in your savings accounts and letting your checking account go negative. You just don't do it.
Well,
I'm not saying we want to do it. I'm just saying what.
I know. I get point taken and so forth. It's us again. You're dealing with the idiosyncrasies of federal government, everyone else on accrual, us versus cash.
Yeah.
So I get the point well taken. But with all the congressional directed spending and stuff, I would implore you, let's not shoot ourselves in the foot to make.
No, I'm not advocating that, but So, are any of these invoices and grants yet to be received? Are any of them federal?
Yeah, the one I'm waiting for is federal.
So
$500,000.
Yeah.
That's not even included in the 1.6.
So that's not in the 1.6. So our exposure of not getting something paid is because of the first 100 days is the 500.
Yeah.
Other than that,
It's just really.
it's more state, it's more none federally.
Yeah.
What's the temperature in the room at the moment? Yeah.
Oh, we're pretty sure we'll get it. It's-
Yeah, I just was curious if there's, okay. All right, thank you.
Councilmember Espinosa.
No, Lauren touched on the points that I wanted to make. Thank you.
Okay. All right, Councilmember Cleveland.
Just to make sure I'm understanding everything correctly. We got approved for loan, for grants. We incurred expenses for those grants. Basically, we send those expenses to the grant people and then they reimburse us. But given the timing of that, it didn't happen within the 2024 calendar year.
Yeah.
So now, because of our cash-based system, we are giving ourselves a loan to make the books look right and pass inspection and not get dinged on stuff. So we have the money coming.
Bingo.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Councilmember Jessup.
If I can follow up after that.
He's like, it's
Yeah.
done.
That was
the best.
that was a great Cliff's Notes situation.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. It went through
Come sit over here.
3, 4, 5,
Yeah.
6, 7 people before we got to it.
Wow.
Lesson learned.
Dang, just can't go right. That's pretty darn funny. Okay, any other questions or comments? All right, if we do not have any, do we have Councilmember Jessup?
I'm sorry, I can't, just because I know, I mean, just for the other reasons. You had mentioned it earlier, and I think it's an important reminder for me personally.
Yeah.
Thank you. Like, this isn't something that we're creating. This is something that you're following RCWs, and RCWs
Yeah.
are dictating some of these things like 3-year max and so on and so forth.
How to
Exactly.
set the interest rate.
Yes, so
yeah.
Terms,
that's,
approval by council.
I think I remember you
Yeah.
talking about that way earlier in the
Yep.
meeting, and I thought it'd be an important
Yep.
iteration of what the wrap up of what's happening. This was created not on in-house. This was created
Correct.
based upon the RCWs.
Correct.
Yes, and sorry, Mike.
Oh.
There is a section in the attachment that shows what the state requires in our interfund activities.
Great,
interfund
thanks.
And I would urge anyone that wants to have a good late night reading, go on the Municipal Research Services Center Interfund Loan Policy webpage, and you can read about 20 of them that we borrowed from.
How do you know we don't already do that, Mike?
And to start to be.
Yeah.
Not that one, but other ones like 4 times a month.
Goodness gracious. All right, any other? All right, I want to make sure everybody's clear.
And yeah,
No, I haven't. I haven't one that's.
Okay.
You can like me
Okay. So, if there's no further discussion, do we have a motion on this authorization?
Councilmember Williams, I move to authorize an interfund loan from the TIF Fund 360 to the REIT 2 Fund 306 in the amount of $1,500,000 in compliance with the interfund loan policy and procedures.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, Councilmember Sherman, second. Any additional discussion? All right, hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the ayes have it and the motion is passed. Thank you again for that, Mr. Carlton. I know, I know, getting that all done took much longer than it did explaining it. So thank you so much for doing that.
Next
for
time,
us.
maybe just consult with Michael ahead of time.
Yeah. And just, yeah, there you go. All right. So we're, on item 6, our administrative reports, and we have 2 of them on the reports tonight. First, our wonderful city clerk is going to present on the Lions Park dedication ceremony.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, as you guys are aware, our current plans continue to push ahead, including the fishing derby in partnership with the College Place Lions Club, land welcome from tribal leader Janine Gordon, and I'm working on a traditional folkloric dance from El Color de Mexico, as well as food and drink giveaways from on-site vendors, Happy Wander and the Soda Stop, and then this other one, she named her business after herself, but free kettle corn, long story short. And then, and then the chamber will do a ribbon cutting ceremony for us.
4:30.
The national anthem's at 4:10.
Yes,
Oh,
it would be
I-
great if all of you showed up at 4. There has been, yeah,
4's good.
yeah, 4 would
Okay.
be great to mingle and mix with people.
And in my packet, it says Councilmember Espinoza is buying us dinner.
He is, well, he's buying you
Thank
one
you.
taco.
you.
He's buying you one taco, but there will be lots of other food vendors on site as well, so yes.
Yes.
We'll have a dessert table and we're talking, should I tell him about what we talked about earlier?
I could say blood ball pencils, but.
Let it happen first.
Roger that.
We were all gonna get a new carpet block to wait.
Yes, there are other plans in the works. So, yes, and my son is currently practicing the national anthem at home, relentlessly, and it's stuck in my head.
So the fishing derby, I've never been able to see one. Do we expect it to last the whole 3 hours? Do kids come out and just fish and is it?
It goes the full 3 hours, yeah.
They're gonna load the pond the day of too, and so the fish will hopefully be like stunned and everybody will catch a fish.
I thought you were gonna say fresh fish, but
Yeah.
you're talking about stunned fish. That'll be really easy to just catch them, huh? Okay. All right. And how many vendors do we have for Market in the Park?
I haven't checked today. I think it was at 49 or something the last time I checked. Yeah. It might actually be higher. I think I'm confused. I'm in block party mode.
Oh, maybe.
yes.
That's high for us. Okay. All right, let's, any other questions or comments for Mary Elizabeth?
Are you gonna talk about the block party?
Do you want me to talk about the block party?
Cause it's this weekend.
Yes,
Yeah.
block party is this weekend. Hope all of you come. We are planning for inclement weather and doing putting some feelers out for what we're gonna do if that is the case. But otherwise, we have like 65 vendors or something that are supposed to line up and do their thing. We have performances from Calico Bones and Vital Pines. And my wonderful deputy city clerk has handled almost all of it. So it's so wonderful. He is going to be there. Yes.
Stop by, stop by the Engineers Without Borders booth, please.
All right. Do you need us for anything in particular or just show up and have fun?
Show up, have fun, and spend as much money as you can.
Oh, yeah, it is gonna rain, isn't it? But it's not gonna be cold, hopefully. All right.
It might be windy. I mean, if it's like typhoon weather, we will cancel the event.
Cancel.
But other than that, we are not planning on
Very nice.
doing so.
Okay. Well, that would be disappointing. All right. Any other questions or comments? All right. Hearing none, we're gonna move on to the next one. Mr. Rizzatello and Miss Ellen will present on the chamber charrette report.
Yeah.
Thank you so very
Just
much
press
for
the
being here. Just press the green button. We
Yeah.
appreciate your patience.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm excited to be here and thank you, Mayor, for being one of the best table hosts we had at the Community Charrette. You herded everybody through 3 rounds of those questions and actually kept them on topic.
Yeah.
And I know that because I had to transcribe all the notes. So a word to all of you, if you're ever asked to take notes at a meeting and you haven't taken cursive in school, please don't use it. It took about 2 extra weeks just to try to translate English to English. So thank you. We're excited about the charrette, and I don't know how much you've read about it or heard about it, but we basically had 11 tables of city and county executives and mayors and city council members. And the topic of that was 2025 to 2050. What should we be when we grow up, basically? What should we look like as a county? And I think universally College Place, and I say this not just because I wish I lived here, but because it is a community that is going in the right direction. And that was recognized by almost every group. You are way ahead of the curve. I think that some of the things people talked about, you've already been talking about here tonight. So the things that they're looking at that might not be perfect now, but that you should take into consideration going forward. They really feel that, in all of our communities, the same three challenges exist. Workforce, housing, and childcare, no surprises. But they really gave you gold stars for being so far ahead of the game. And I think where they were hoping, and all of our communities in Walla Walla County have sort of the same challenge with maybe a different flair here. And that is the people that have been here for 6 generations versus those of us who have been here next week, 2 years. So it is a demographic challenge that we all have. And I think as College Place has grown, that some of the people that have lived here for multiple generations feel that there is a dissolution, perhaps, of some of their culture. And the people that are moving here feel like the other way, that there's not enough for them taken into consideration, that the demographics have shifted and there is a change and that is going to continue to increase. And that's just a really typical challenge that all of our communities have to work on. So other than that, I think they wanted more varied retail and more varied businesses, and which Mike, I know, is working on diligently. ICSC is around the corner.
Stay out through day.
Yeah. And I think the childcare challenge, I also think that what I heard tonight about the sidewalks, the walkability factor, they wish that College Place was more walkable, as everyone wishes all of our communities were here. And I think the mixed use housing really came up quite often in conversation, not just at your table, but at all the tables in the room, that the codes we have in the county and in some of our cities don't really permit that or permit it very easily. So something to look at and consider. They love the parks here and wish they were more and better and bigger and more expansive. I think the quality of life issue here was much less of a concern than it was in some of our other areas. So I can answer any questions that you might have about this event. We will be making this a permanent event. It was very well received, and we'll have a different question, a different theme every year. I think we know the direction now that everyone hopes we go in. And I know that the UB is coming to my office on Monday to interview me about the lack of growth in some of our communities. That is not exactly a challenge here. So thank you for all that all of you do. Thank you for inviting me to this meeting because it was so inspirational. And having served for several terms on a city council in another state, this is way better a group. This is a fun. I've never seen clapping or laughing at a city council meeting, literally in that state. Guns run the DS. So thank you all, and I'll answer any questions you have. Mike?
I think I heard that comment from our new city attorney as well that time, that he thought it was, probably thought it was the strangest city council he ever attended.
Quite relaxed.
Yeah.
I want to say that when I started on the city council, it wasn't exactly like that. And so having Mike and setting up the workshops I think made a huge difference because Mike is on top of everything and he sends all his people in the right directions. And we always had a great staff, but now they have great direction. And with the workshops, we get, by the time it comes to the council, we've usually seen it 2 or 3 times. So we don't have to argue anymore.
I do want to thank you for holding the event. It was really interesting. I had never been to one. And I felt it was really interesting in hearing the people just speak. We weren't there to direct their conversation unless they were going off the topic, which some did. And I'm glad I wasn't at those tables. But yes, thank you so much for holding it. It was very informative for me as well.
It was our pleasure to do that. And I think for the citizens and the businesses that attended, they came away with exactly what we hoped. They felt that they were heard. And that's so critical in government, that government listen, and this is the opportunity that they had to reach out and touch all of you. And so next year, we hope more of you will get involved and come and play at the tables. So
Yeah,
thank you all
sure.
very much. I appreciate
So
it.
this meeting is open to council.
Yes, we were invited to
And I probably missed it, but
to sit on it. Yeah,
if we
you don't
could
check
be,
your email.
okay. Perhaps we can go beyond email and have more of a,
Yeah, we might, seriously.
maybe at a
we might
workshop,
do.
we can bring up a date or something, yeah.
When it
That would be
comes up.
great, because, yeah, open that valve up, yeah, thanks.
I think to be able to sit at a table with their elected officials or their leaders, their city leaders, and just be able to talk and on that topic, right? So any other questions or comments regarding the report on College Place? Any thoughts, anything that you're wondering might have come up? No?
Thank you all.
Thank you so very
Appreciate it.
much. We appreciate it. All right, so let's take a look. You have one informational report in your packet. If you haven't already seen it, please do so. And now we're down to executive session. So there, I'm going to be my reading. The City of College Place City Council will now meet in executive session to discuss potential litigation pursuant to RCW 42.30.110 1I.
I go over there and put my phone out so I can.
Okay. Yes. So we're just going to take a quick break before we go into executive session in case anybody wants to stretch your legs or.
And we're pulling the machine out of the wall with power?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's, yes.
There's a bunch of people out there.
Okay, so I think we're all back, so I'm gonna, how the city council will be in executive session until 8:35. I mean. Oh, I'm just hearing myself. We're hearing ourselves. Sorry, 20:55.
If you want.
25 minutes.
It'd be 8:50.
8:50.
So the phone's off, Zoom's off.
Not yet, not yet, not until we're done.
So we're just calling it.
Okay, so the city council executive session will go on